What is up, champs? Champion Trucker coming back at you with a new video. And my health is doing a lot better than it was yesterday. It's still kind of being like, but you know, that is life. And I was talking to my cousin CDO.Keiko. Shout out to him, my actual familia. And I'll have the link to his channel. But he pointed out something that I said, and I didn't really realize it. I was just like, people are in a rush to die. Like, so many of us are, and we don't really absorb what's going on around us. We just live our life and it's on autopilot. And a lot of times, let me turn off the air real quick. I turned off the air. No. But a lot of us were pretty much just in a rush to grow up, get old, and get to this point of our lives that we're like, okay, this is where I'm successful. But if you don't live in the moment, you will never live at all. Like, you have individuals that were on autopilot from the age of 18 to 60 years old, and they're just now living. They're conscious and they're awake. And that's the craziest part about it, ain't it? That a lot of individuals are in a rush to die, especially out here on the road. You see a lot of individuals going super fast. They're late, and if you're late, you're late. You can't improve it. I mean, it's like you're trying to rewind time like you're the Flash. Look, we even seen in the Flash, I know that's a comic book, but it sounds like a joke, but I'm being real. Like, Barry Allen tries to go back in the past and stop Reverse Flash, and it made things even worse. In the television show, I don't know about the comic books. I'm pretty sure they got it from the comic books, but the reality of it is that it's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of things going on. The economy. We have individuals that are scared. They're hurt. They're going through quite a bit, and you know, they're not really taking a hold of their life in this moment. They're just trying to go on autopilot and get past it. Well, what happens if you didn't do anything about it and a year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by? What happens to you? And I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to rush all of my life. I was sitting here like, man, like, I want to be an adult so bad. I want to be an adult so bad, not knowing that becoming an adult, the freedom that you once had is gone. A lot of responsibilities get placed on you. As soon as you turn 18, you could get locked up. You're not going to juvie, you can get locked up. So the decisions that you made when you were a kid and you were being, I threw a bottle at an old man. I never did that, but like, he's like, huh? What? Oh. So, but reality settles in. And now you are an adult, and everything that you wanted to get up to, you no longer enjoy. You really weren't conscious in your childhood. You really thought that if you became an adult, oh, it's going to be the best thing. I could do whatever I want. Well, really, if you want to be successful, you can't do whatever you want. You have to have the most pretty much the most highest level of discipline to be one of the 1%. You have to have discipline. A lot of people want to rush a job or rush a skill, not understanding that had you take time to pretty much nourish that skill, live in the moment. And that's something that I did within trucking that taught me something different within myself, is I lived in the moment. I was learning. I was able to focus in, and I was actually doing something outside of the realm of what I thought was supposed to be in my script. But sometimes when you slow down, you learn the most. You know, a lot of times you get up to a certain number. Let's just say, like, subscriber wise, I get up to, I don't know, 100,000. It's a great feat. I'm not gonna lie, that's a great feat. But what was more rewarding was the experience and the journey getting there. I've always enjoyed the journey, not the destination. I got there, okay, now what? And you find that a lot of people that get rich and they went throughout their whole lives working hard, not doing certain things, they sacrificed 10 years, 15 years to find out that, yeah, I made it, I expected it, but I rushed it. Like, you'd be surprised, 10, 15 years, you think that's rushing, that's taking forever. No, it's really not, because they were on autopilot mode and that time flew by. Looking retrospectively, have you looked? Okay, so I'm 27, and if I look back at the time 10 years ago, I was about to get out of. I graduated early, I think at 17 or something around there. It's been 10 years, and the thing about it is, I was at that time, looking back over that time, a lot of things have happened. And I can't confidently say I was 100% conscious throughout the entire journey. Had I been, I would have been a lot more opportunistic in the time that I had. I would have been squeezing every time that I had. So it's okay to live 10 to 15 years of grinding and autopilot and doing the same job, doing the same task, going to the same places. But if you're moving the same and not learning or observing like right now I'm at a pilot. It's got construction going on. It's got a mess, and it's like, man, what will this place be? I see people working, and you got to really take it in. A lot of us, we live in this cone zone. Like this cone zone. You kind of just get, like, pretty much there's those yellow cones. You can pick it up and you can play it like a trumpet, pause, or then you can look outside like a telescope. We kind of live like that. And sometimes when you look around, you notice certain things. You look at people and they look at you. They're watching you. They're looking at you. Or maybe you see something happen. Maybe a bird. I remember I was looking up around. Now I know this is kind of corny, but I'm being real. I looked around and I saw a double rainbow in the sky. I was like, double rainbow, wow. And there used to be a game when I was a kid, and this is what I mean. When I was a kid, I held on to certain things. And there was a game on the iPod, when iPod used to come out, and it had like this island game where you could pick up these little guys and flick them around. That was fun to us. Just a simple game. It wasn't intricate. Temple Run was fun. I mean, I came from an era where cell phones weren't even like it was today. I came from a flip phone. The flip phone wasn't even created when I was around. Like, it came around probably when I was like 5 or 4. But yeah, man. Sometimes if you don't really, and I'm sick, sorry, and I also have a lot of congestion issues. But if you don't stop and notice how much you're rushing your life, you'll be like, I'll be 37 years old and I wouldn't remember the past 10 years. But I think this year has been one of my more monumental years within development as a father, as who I am, because I decided to become conscious in the decisions I make in my life. And with that being said, you know, a lot of us, we have a job that is demanding. We have a clock. We're on a clock. But we do this job not thinking about others. We rush past other drivers. And, you know, even for me, I stepped out and this guy was blindside backing. And, you know, I was like, okay, let me go out and help him. Well, he said, nah, I got it. He got it, yeah. But I don't see a lot of truck drivers trying to get out their truck and trying to help their fellow guy. I never saw that a lot. I'm not never, but I don't see a lot of people taking that into consideration that, yeah, maybe you got it. Maybe you've been doing this for 10, 15 years. But I'm never going to deny somebody to watch my 6 if I'm blindside backing. Doesn't matter how many years I got in this. Maybe I could develop a relationship with this person. Maybe there's somebody on YouTube. Maybe there's somebody important and they just drive a truck. See, a lot of us think that just because we drive a truck doesn't mean that, you know, a lot of people think just because an individual drives a truck that they're nothing. They're just a mindless little bot driving inside of a truck. They sleep in a truck. They eat in a truck. They have, in a truck. But if we slow down and start realizing the people that you're around, you'll learn a lot more. You'll learn absolutely a lot more if you just slow down, take the time to review, enjoy that moment. I remember, last thing I'll say is I remember I was like last week, it was a weird week, a crash happened, all this stuff. I was kind of internalizing it, and I was there physically, and then I get parked. And that video that I did of me eating, I was eating that Power Bowl. I really savored it, and I remember that brownie, and I remember that moment, and it stank. Not me, because across the street there's this dispensary kind of lab or something. So I was like, golly. But I remember it all so vividly. And another thing that I remember and I never really brought up was one thing I never really brought up was the picture of my banner. That was the moment I believe that I was the most aware and the most conscious. And before I left that seat, I was out on a camping trip with my dad, and there was a bench and that water right there that you guys see in the banner. I was sitting down there, and I can always sit here. I can always go back to it because I slowed down. I wasn't rushing. And honestly, I would love to go back there again in the fall time, near fall, and enjoy that moment once more, where I'm not rushing, I'm not pressured, I'm not trying to get somewhere, I'm not trying to think. I'm just trying to live in the moment. Well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you got to this part, just let me know down in the comments below. The next video I'm going to read another thing that's going to have to do with the next topic, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one. Peace.